What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link in the description box below as well. They asked me to put it up. I put it up. This video is entitled The Negative Effects of College. When I first got to college, this is years ago, okay? And yes, I'm a college graduate if anybody doesn't know this. They used to tell you, look to your left, look to your right, look to your front, and look behind you. Like either 2 or 3 of y'all wasn't gonna make it at the time. Because a lot of people fell into the traps of the negative effects of college. And there's some things that happen that happened in the college lifestyle, and there's some things that translated and will go to outside of the college lifestyle. One of the first things is freedom. See, youth and freedom sometimes are not a good thing, because I remember the very first day I got on campus, 2 girls got kicked out because the very first thing they did was they went to their room. They started stripping in the window, and it created a whole big, basically block party. And then because the men's and women's dorms were connected, so the women's dorm in the back, lunch connected like walkway, then to the men's dorm, right? And so in the middle, just all, walkways and grass, and everybody's looking up and the girls are stripping. And it caused such a thing that they kicked the girls out because they were stripping, dancing, all that other stuff. Because they were free. And when you're free and you're young, you want to be free to make to do all the dumb things you thought ain't really no problem with. And you start realizing, oh, it's a problem. Because you can't, it's hard to call home and say on the first, I just left you. You dropped me off. You stayed a little bit. I packed up my room. By the way, I just got kicked out for getting naked and being an exhibitionist with another chick in my room in the window and causing a stir. So you thought you thought freedom, that you were free to be stupid without consequences. And I'm gonna go a lot of different places with this. One of the other negative things, because stuff like that, there were people who got away with stuff. And this is the next thing. There are people who you don't like street mentality, right? You don't like Pookie and Ray Ray culture per se. I don't either. I'm not going to lie. But there are a lot of people who were just educated Pookies and Ray Rays, right? And that's men and women. And what you learn when you got on, one of the negative things about college life was you would see these people in power positions doing Pookie and Ray Ray stuff to get over. And what would hide them was their education and their position. So you started seeing criminal mentality in an educated fashion. So some people was like, oh, you see, it's only bad when you're doing something illegal and you get caught. But I can do something unethical or immoral and get paid for it, and it's not necessarily illegal, and I probably won't get caught. This is part of that story of that little dumb kid that was at Hampton stealing money. He learned that from the staff, But these people aren't necessarily looked at as criminals in the community, but that's what they are, So that's one of the negative aspects. This is why people say stuff like, they call lawyers liars or professional liars, or that's a license to print money because you lie for a living. You're taught to lie for a living at a college setting. You're taught to hustle people and defame people using protocols and practices that are considered legal and bending the law to your will for financial gain at college campuses. This is some of these business practices that people are taught to be cutthroat businessmen and rob people of their life's work. This is not taught on the streets. This is taught at colleges. So this is part of the negative effects of college, because what winds up happening is you meet people who are like that at college, and to a degree, that's, that's what you call competitive nature. Just to be an educated crook. And people don't want to talk about that because there's always scandals of people stealing money. Same thing if you're an athlete. You got the boosters paying kids off to bring them to college or to keep them at college because they're making money off these people. So pimping and hoeing and drug dealing culture, it just evolves into the negative college lifestyle. One of the other things about that, because people don't want to talk about these things, drug culture. That's college culture. See, it's only bad when you're not, drug culture for people who didn't go to college is viewed at completely different from people who are in college. Because it's under the auspices that you're doing the right thing. So being a drug addict or an alcoholic in college, weed's not a big deal. Oh, drinking is not a big deal because I'm getting my education. Which, if you notice, this is why a lot of professional people will wind up alcoholics or low-key drug addicts, because they learn this behavior in college. See, college could get you hooked because college is, in some ways, in a negative way, your education masquerades your shenanigans. So college can teach you to be a functional addict if you don't get kicked out or drop out. So that's that's one of the negative aspects, because you can always hide. You never really fit the profile if you're a college student. You know what I'm saying? Racially dependent on the thing, but in general, you don't. Nobody's gonna say Ivy League kid's a cokehead. They know they're cokeheads, but they're not gonna say it. They're not gonna, it's just, because you're young, you're making mistakes. See, young and making mistakes on a college campus is different between young and making mistakes if you're not. One of the other negative things, and plus, like when they graduate and they get out, this becomes a way. Some of them know how to maneuver the system well enough, to hide behind their positions. You get a job, you can hide behind your job, your position. Just like that. Remember the Miami Dolphins coach they got in the coaching staff that got caught snorting coke with the stripper. He didn't just learn that from being a Dolphins. He learned that from college. 9 times out of 10. I'm a coach. I'm a college coach, because you can hide in plain sight with your dysfunction. It teaches you sexuality. I'll get to that since I brought up say stripper. Did a video about dating an ex-lesbian. People ask me, how did you date an ex-lesbian? I'm like, that's easy. A lot of the women I dated as an adult are college graduates. A lot of college going women went through a sexual phase where they were bisexual, and they graduated, and a lot of them had masculine energy because of it. That's part of the college culture, and that's part of the push and pull of modern day society when it comes to education, because a lot of college girls have sex with girls. And even if girls that didn't have sex with girls, the girls that they were roommates with probably had sex with girls. So it's not 6 degrees of separation. It may be 2 at the most. So, and that's their culture. And they deal with sugar daddy men and sugar daddy women. You get what I'm saying? They deal with, she's just fine and we walk around naked together and all that. That's their culture. And people and guys were like, it's sexy to see girls have threesomes and girl on girl action and all this, that, and the third. So a lot of y'all, knowingly or unknowingly, if y'all dating a woman who went to college, she's probably bisexual. It's a strong possibility she's bisexual and you're dating somebody who's an ex-lesbian. You know, to this day, a lot of the girls I know who have that masculine energy went to college, and some of them admit that they was with girls, and some of them don't. You know, but that's a whole nother thing. Let's carry on. One of the other things that's negative is college teaches you ideologies because you're learning to think for yourself, which is not a bad thing. But what winds up happening is because you're young, you take these ideologies to the extreme. Like college is a hotepism beacon. You know, this is where feminism and misogyny and all of this, that, and the third. Because I remember, you know, the causes on college campuses were crazy sometimes. You know, we gotta fight for the whales, dog. I'm in Louisiana. Ain't no whales in the Gulf. I'm sorry, it's not. When we're not fighting for the shrimps and we're not fighting for the crawfish, it's not gonna happen. So, you know, that's another problem, right? You pick up these causes and you gung ho and you fight for them, and you take them out into society, and you grow up and you realize how out of touch you are with reality, and it's a negative thing, you know. And sometimes arrogance is taught in college because people, I went to college, I've got an education. That doesn't mean you bright, because like I said before, with these ideologies, sometimes you get an education which can make you more skilled or smarter than some people, but the ideologies that you take in college make you stupid. Like sometimes it's a wash, or you know, it can vacillate between, you know, you're actually smarter or you're actually dumber because you let the ideologies run you. So these are negative aspects of higher learning, right? The negative effects of higher learning, and also, how can I say this? Depending on where you at, college can teach you bad spending habits, because some people get caught up in that, you know, but I'm in college and I'm broke and I'm gonna live, and you wind up a lot of this college debt isn't necessarily just education. It's your education is what is primarily focused on, but a lot of your debt comes from, I don't want to live in that dorm, I want to live in that dorm, and it costs you more. I want this kind of food, I don't want that kind of food, and it costs you more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put that money to the side. I want to go shopping. I want to go to I want to take these spring break trips. You know, I'll pay this back when I'm done. This is part of when you get on college campuses and they give you these credit cards with these high interest loans. Or they used to do that. I don't know if they do that anymore. But you're signing up for all these adult responsibilities spending wise, but you're bad at budgeting because you're thinking, I'm in college, I'm broke, and when I graduate, I'll get a good job and pay this stuff back. And you don't really realize how far in debt you're going to be, right? I said this in another video before I close. My first semester, when they have the freshman talk, or the freshman orientation, one of the people were talking about them going to Tulane's graduation, and they're about to say valedictorian, but no, you know, summa cum laude, magna, whatever. It's been a long time, but the guy was giving a speech on how he's terrified about entering the workforce, because he was like either $120,000 or $250,000 in debt from his education. So, and you know, that wasn't, the education wasn't the bulk of his debt per se. Even though Tulane was a good school and an expensive school, but you knew to a degree it wasn't, you know, just the Tulane expenses. Because I remember people buying luxury cars with their refunds. Stupid stuff. You know, going to the casino with their refunds. You know, going on trips with their refunds. Stuff like that, you know. And I also remember staff stealing kids' refunds and giving them certain percentages back, and kids figuring that out, and after the fact having to pay loans that they didn't even get the money for, you know. So these are some of the negative effects of college. So we out, yo. Peace.